Stop settling for air fryers that can barely fit a handful of fries. Today, I'm testing the biggest, baitest, extra-large capacity beasts on the market to see which one can actually feed a crowd without leaving you hungry. I have put these 5 contenders through the ringer, testing everything from wings and fries to whole chickens to see if bigger really means better. Stick around. Number 5. Chefman TurboFry Touch Air Fryer. On paper, this sounds like a dream for anyone on a budget who needs size. It boasts a massive 8-quart capacity, and when I first pulled it out of the box, I was impressed by the sleek stainless steel finish. It looks professional on the countertop and doesn't scream cheap plastic immediately. The square basket design is actually a smart choice here. Unlike round baskets, the square shape gives you significantly more surface area. I was able to fit 4 large burger patties flat on the bottom without them touching, which is a huge plus if you're trying to feed a family of 4 in a single cycle. The interface is purely digital with a touchscreen that lights up when you plug it in, offering presets for things like fish, fries, and chicken. However, after spending some serious time cooking with it, the TurboFry name started to feel a bit ironic. While it definitely gets hot, the temperature consistency was something I struggled with. During my testing, I noticed that the actual internal heat often ran a little lower than what the display claimed. I'd set it to 400 degrees for wings, but they didn't get that signature blistered crunch until I added an extra 5 or 6 minutes to the cook time. It's not a deal breaker, but you have to learn to trust your eyes rather than the timer. If you follow recipes blindly, you might end up with food that is cooked but lacks that deep-fried texture we are all looking for. Another point of contention for me was the user experience regarding cleanup and maintenance. The crisper plate inside the basket is held in place by these tight rubber feet, which is great for stability, but removing it to clean the grease underneath is a workout. Number 4. Gourmia GAF1230A. This isn't just a basket air fryer, it's a 14-quart French door-style air fryer oven. If you are looking for pure volume, this is the heavyweight champion. The capacity is genuinely impressive. Because it uses racks instead of a bucket, you can cook on multiple levels at once. I successfully dehydrated a massive batch of beef jerky across 2 racks while simultaneously roasting veggies on the bottom. It also comes with a rotisserie kit, which is a feature I always love testing. Watching a whole chicken spin around and baste itself is satisfying, and the end result was juicy meat with decent skin. The French doors are also a nice touch aesthetic-wise. Pulling them open makes you feel like a professional chef. But having tested it extensively, I found that the jack-of-all-trades approach comes with some significant compromises. The biggest downside I experienced was the plastic odor. It is common for air fryers to have a smell during the first run, but even after 3 or 4 heavy cooking sessions, including a vinegar steam clean, I could still detect a faint chemical scent when the unit got really hot. It didn't transfer to the food taste-wise, but it was off-putting enough to mention. Additionally, the build quality feels a bit rattling compared to the premium look of the doors. When the fan ramps up, the metal housing vibrates slightly, creating a humming rattle that can get annoying during long cooks. Cooking unevenness was another hurdle. While having multiple racks is great for capacity, the top rack definitely cooks much faster than the bottom one. I found myself having to constantly rotate the trays halfway through the cooking process to avoid burning the top layer while the bottom layer was still pale. Three, Chefman Crispinator Air Fryer. This machine feels like an apology for the shortcomings of the TurboFry. Right off the bat, the design is vastly improved. It keeps that 8-quart capacity, but the basket is wider and shallower, which is actually better for air frying because it spreads the food out more. The standout feature here, and something I absolutely loved during testing, is the viewing window. It sounds simple, but being able to turn on the internal light and check my fries without opening the basket and losing heat is a luxury I didn't know I needed. It saves time and keeps the cooking temperature stable. The performance of the Crispinator lives up to its aggressive name. This model hits a maximum temperature of 450 degrees Fahrenheit, which is higher than the standard 400 degrees Fahrenheit found on most units. I tested this with frozen steak fries, which are notoriously hard to get crisp, and the extra 50 degrees made a massive difference. They came out audibly crunchy on the outside while staying fluffy inside, and I didn't even have to spray them with extra oil. It also runs significantly quieter than the TurboFry. The whisper quiet marketing is actually pretty accurate. I could hold a conversation right next to it without raising my voice. However, it's not entirely perfect. While the ceramic non-stick coating is a great health feature, PFAS-free, I noticed it's a bit more delicate than traditional Teflon. You have to be extremely careful not to use metal tongs or you will scratch it. Also, while the 450-degree heat is amazing for crisping, it makes it very easy to burn food if you aren't paying attention. The high heat ramps up fast, and a minute too long at that temperature can turn your garlic bread into charcoal. 2. Ninja DZ201. This is the machine that popularized the dual basket revolution, and honestly it still holds up incredibly well. The total capacity is 8 quarts, split into 2 independent 4-quart baskets. During my testing, the dual zone technology was the star of the show. The smart finish feature is pure magic. I put frozen chicken wings in one basket, which take about 25 minutes, and roasted broccoli in the other, which takes about 10 minutes. I told the Ninja to finish them at the same time, and it automatically held the broccoli and started it later, so everything was hot and ready simultaneously. It completely eliminates the waiting for the side dish problem. The reliability of the Ninja is unmatched. Every single time I used it, the temperatures were dead accurate. If I set it to 309 degrees Fahrenheit, it held 309 degrees Fahrenheit. The baskets are deep enough to shake effectively, tossing the food for an even cook without ingredients flying out. The non-stick coating on the crisper plates is robust. I've scrubbed them dozens of times and they still look new. It feels like a premium, well-engineered piece of equipment that can withstand daily abuse in a busy kitchen. So, why isn't it number 1? The downside of the dual basket design is the basket size itself. Because the 8 quarts are split down the middle, you have 2 narrow 4-quart zones. This means you cannot fit a large whole chicken or a full rack of ribs in one basket. You are limited to smaller cuts of meat or batch cooking. While it's perfect for a meal of meat and veg, it struggles if you want to cook a large casserole or a big pizza that requires a wide surface area. One, Philips NA35000. Philips is the company that invented the home air fryer, and with this model, they have reinvented the dual basket game. This machine takes the top spot because it solves the exact problem I just mentioned with the Ninja. Instead of giving you 2 equal-sized small baskets, Philips designed this with an asymmetrical layout, a large 6-liter basket and a smaller 3-liter basket, giving you a massive 9 liters, approx 9.5 quarts of total space. This design is brilliant. In my testing, I was able to fit a whole 3-pound chicken in the large drawer, something the Ninja simply couldn't do, while simultaneously roasting sweet potatoes in the smaller drawer. You get the best of both worlds, the capacity to cook large roasts and the versatility to cook sides separately. Philips also uses their signature Rapid Air Plus technology, which involves a unique starfish design at the bottom of the basket. The airflow in this machine is superior to every other model on this list. I didn't even have to shake the fries halfway through. The air swirled so effectively that the chips in the center were just as crispy as the ones on the edges. The build quality is stunning, featuring copper/gold accents that look high-end, and the touchscreen is responsive and intuitive. It also features a synchronization mode similar to the Ninja, ensuring both baskets finish at the same time. The energy efficiency was also noticeable. It cooked faster than the others, searing meat beautifully without drying it out. The only minor gripe is that it takes up a fair bit of counter space, but considering it effectively replaces your oven and your toaster, it is worth the real estate.